Hello, people of the internet. Um, so I just finished watching season 2 of Invincible, and I wanted to say something about Amanda as a character, who's Monster Girl, by the way, in case you don't know their secret identities. So, Amanda as a character is very selfish and stupid. In this season. Last season, she wasn't, dumb or mean, but this season she is. So, in this season, Robot constantly tries to help her, make her powers not be a problem for her, and then she's like, "No, it's a curse." And it's like, "Yeah, we know. That's what we're trying to fix, you moron." It's like, it is a curse. That's what we're trying to fix, you know? It's something to fix because curses are something to fix. It pisses me off that she's so dumb about that. And then in the last episode, she's being extremely selfish, telling someone who spent their whole life as a robot, not understanding people because they were a robot, telling them, you need to become a human now because I don't like you having to adjust to being a human. That is incredibly selfish. Like, to say, you are acting strange, stop. That's not what a loving partner would do. This is kind of exactly what, Bulletproof was pointing out, was that, and I don't know if this is on purpose, and I genuinely hope it is, because it's really the only way that they could naturally fix this. Emphasis on naturally. They could do this in the same way they did Amber, where they just change her character, but, yeah, so basically, yeah, they could, um... So yeah, it's incredibly selfish for her to be like, you need to be a human now. Like, he got out of his robot body only a bit ago. He needs to adjust. Another thing I wanted to point out is he seems like he has autism, and if he does, then that also is another reason why, she should shut the fuck up. Because if he's not acting robotically because he came from a robotic body and is acting robotically, a mixture of both that and being autistic, which I think is probably the case as well. Or at least if it's not the case, at least it mirrors autism, so people like me who are autistic can at least have someone to relate to. If he is autistic, then he's never going to adjust, because that's not how we work. We don't adjust to people. I mean, we kind of do, but we don't adjust. We don't change as, completely. So, basically what I mean is, we'll get better at understanding non-autistic people, but we won't, change the way we act, and it still takes time. Yeah. So, I should probably give some examples of why I think he's autistic, so that way I'm not just saying that. So I think he might be autistic. One of the things that he says that makes me think that is when he says that, when in season 1 he's with Rex, and Rex says, I think you have a screw loose. And he says, I don't use screws, I use magnetic interlocks. That wasn't literal. He wasn't saying, I think one of the screws which keeps you together is loose. He meant, you're crazy. But he interpreted that as him being, as literally what it was, that a screw was loose, which is not what he meant. And of course, he is a robot, as I said, and he's getting used to not being a robot. So, in his robot form, it's possible that he just doesn't understand this stuff, and when adjusting, he doesn't understand this stuff either. So, basically, what I'm saying is he's either autistic, or at least a character that mirrors autism in a lot of ways, so autistic people like myself have something to relate to. So, and if he's autistic, that just makes Amber... Amber? My God, what is it with me and accidentally saying Amber? I've said that, in some earlier takes of this video as well. Amanda... And if I've said Amber earlier, I probably meant Amanda, unless, of course, in context, I was definitely referring to Amber. But, Amanda is a dick, is basically all I'm saying. She's certainly not as bad as Amber. It doesn't seem as it doesn't seem as, it doesn't, like, I want to punch Amber, like season 1 Amber in the face, but I don't really want to do that with Amanda. I just want to yell at her about how stupid she's being. Like with Amber, I can be like, okay, you're just so dumb. I don't even think you deserve to exist. But like with Amanda, it's like, okay, at least I can see your logic there. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you know, like I can see what she's thinking. I just don't get it. I don't know if I pointed this out in this take, or if I pointed it out in an earlier take, but I'm going to just say it in case I didn't point it out in this take. But what Bulletproof said um, about Robot loving someone who doesn't love him back, it's like that's kind of evidence of this. If Amanda really loved Rudy, she would be fine with who he is. She wouldn't be like, you need to change for me. That's not what a loving person does. A loving person isn't like, you need to change for me, especially when they know the reason they haven't changed is because they're currently changing because they just got out of a robot body. Ugh. Amanda is fucking annoying, is all I'm saying. I loved season 2, with the, the exception of Amanda. Everything else about season 2 is fine. Yeah, so then what was I saying about, oh yeah, the next thing I should say. So, for those of you waiting on my video on Mormonism and Islam, I don't know if any of you still are, all 2 of you waiting for that video. It's still coming along. I'm in the middle of the Book of Alma. The Book of Alma is really fucking long. It's also the one that's like the most morally gross so far. Like Mosiah, I was like, oh, the Book of Mosiah has like King Benjamin, who's like really kind and loving, and it's like, oh, maybe the Book of Mormon will be like an exception to the rule of like religious texts are just objectively the grossest types of books ever. No, apparently it's not an exception. It's just that it kind of tricked me by having Benjamin be kind, but then have Alma be psychotic and retarded and hypocritical. And then you also have like, so Alma, so, and then yeah, also, fucking, what's the other guy's name? Ammon. Ammon's a fucking dick as well. And they constantly, it fucking annoys me. They're like, oh, religious freedom, and then they force the Lamanites to be Christian. It's like, what do you mean religious freedom? There's no religious freedom if you force people to be your religion. Like, and they even word it in the way that like I would word it to make fun of it, of like, oh, you have the freedom to worship the Christian God. It's like they kind of say that in the book, kind of. They don't say exactly that, but they basically word it in a way where it's like, where they basically point out the exact flaw with what they're talking about. But yeah, I should probably stop because I don't want to make this video about Invincible be me just basically making the Mormonism and Islam video early by accident because I start a rant. So, yeah. It's coming along fine. I'm in the middle of the Book of Alma. I think I'm in chapter like 20-something. 20... I don't know. 20-something. It doesn't matter what chapter I'm at exactly. Yeah, basically my main point is that video is going to be done soon. So see you later. Well, you'll see me later. I won't see you guys later. Oh, I should also point out, I will be, after I'm done with that video, I will be making a poll that will have the ideas of videos that I want to make on it. And if you guys vote, you might be able to help me decide. You'll be able to decide which video I make next. They're all theology related because I'm hyperfixating on that at the moment. But if you guys like the Mormonism and Islam video, then maybe I'll like that. I will probably, if I remember, put an other option in the poll, so like you can tell me what you want me to make. Just the thing is like, so yeah, but the ones that'll be named, the ones that'll be like, these are my ideas will all be theology related, but I'll go ahead and put if I remember, I'll put a vote thing so you guys can tell me what you want me to make. Yeah. So, bye.